Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. Perfect. So in your classes, we are supposed to start the communication classes from and including level like N4, N5, N3. Correct? N5, N4, N3. Correct? And if I remember, then as we discussed that we need to start from like with the communication skills practice perspective, but from the scratch. Correct? Okay. Yeah, we have two more person and they will be joining since next week. अभी उनका थोड़ा टाइम का conflict है. That's why. Mm-hmm. Okay, so right now you are not in Delhi, no? Mm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. ओके दैट्स सो बेसिकली इस वीक का जो है नेक्स्ट वीक का जब मैं स्केड्यूल करूँगा तो देन आई कंफर्म विद यू सो अगर हम्म हम्म ओके ओके श्योर okay so when we talk about the communication practice in Japanese or communication as a skill in Japanese language few things basically we need to consider communication as skill in Japanese language few things we need to take into consideration one is basically we should be knowing at N5 and N4 level very well. These two levels we should be knowing very well. They are very much important because using these two levels we can communicate or we can like convey any kind of sentence we want to convey. These two levels we can whatever we want to. Fine. And in order to enhance our language speech in Japanese we need further advanced levels like N3 and N2 so basically N3 and N2 are just to enhance our speech level in Japanese language but N4 and 5 is okay to or sufficient enough to convey whatever you want to convey. Second thing basically we need to listen Japanese a lot if we really want to improve our Japanese communication we need to listen this language a lot or you can say as much as we can so being in India like we have resources like resources if we talk about like YouTube or you can say Japanese drama is the best way I usually I don't recommend anime, because anime is like something where you listen 80 or 90% like a casual Japanese. So that I don't recommend, because we should start with formal Japanese, because if we know the formal Japanese we can communicate in any situation. If we know just casual Japanese, then we won't be able to make our base properly. So I recommend watching Japanese. I do not recommend watching Japanese anime. I do recommend watching Japanese YouTube or Japanese drama. For Japanese drama, I can suggest you like watching free Japanese drama. Like there is a platform called Wiki Rakuten. For Wiki Rakuten, you have mobile application or you have website. You can watch Japanese drama, lots of Japanese drama there for free with subtitles in English and in Japanese. And the best thing for this Wiki Rakuten website, if you pay I think 99 rupees per month, or 199, no, not 119 rupees per month, then you can have access the premium Wiki Rakuten account, where you can enable the learning mode. And in learning mode you can, like, when you like hover your like mouse on the Japanese subtitle, they will give you the meanings and the kanji readings and the like how they are using it. So like basically all the stuff which you can use for your learning. So that is the learning mode of Wiki Rakuten, which is like I used to use. This is really good, just 100 rupees or 190 rupees per month. That's good. So these two things you need to do on daily basis if you really want these classes to work out for you. Yeah, sorry. App and website is like both are there. If you want to watch it on laptop, you can watch it on laptop. If you want to watch it on your mobile device, you can watch it on your mobile device.
How many hours or what is the time that
All sorry, like you need to watch daily 1 hour at least, because there are like every drama like having on an average 10 10 episodes, and one episode like 40 or 47 minutes, 50 minutes. So like daily one episode is enough. And I suggest to repeat the same drama over and over again in order to understand Japanese better. And you can take a notebook and a pen, you can write some, like if you like a particular line and you think you can use it in your daily life, or you want to use it, you can write that too. You can write that, you can use it Google Translator, your Japanese dictionary, in order to take like the meaning of the words out, and then you can use them. So just watching drama will not work, but watching drama with the spirit of learning or will of learning Japanese with it, because if you are watching just for entertainment, that will not work. You have to watch it like you are watching it, and if like the other person like saying a particular line, that you can pick that line, write that line, and break that line into words, and then you are finding meaning for those words in dictionary or in the Google Translator, and then and you are making your own sentence with it. That will boost your Japanese communication or your Japanese as a skill, as a language. So watch it with some learning efforts. So that your 1 hour of drama will might take 2 days or 3 days. So what I used to do, first watch it completely without any effort, just watch it completely and try to understand Japanese. In the second cycle, now start writing words and lines from it, and then start making your own sentences with the same context or the different context with the same words. Maybe for a very easy example, in the drama, that person, like suppose that person is eating apple in a garden, so you can eat apple in at the school. So he or she was eating apple at the garden, you can eat apple at school or at office. So what you changed here, you replace your garden with office word. So now you have two vocabulary for the same context. or you can eat pizza at office. So now you have two different vocabulary for the same context. So context is same, that is eating at somewhere, but you replace the vocabulary to for your own learning. So that's how you learn. Maybe that person saying something negative, but you said it positively. So now you have two sentences, one from drama, the original sentence, second is your own sentence which you created while watching the drama for your learning. So this kind of efforts when you put in your daily Japanese, I mean, and these are like daily Japanese practice or efforts or study, whatever you can call it. All these things you have to do. If you will do all these things with the class, then these classes will work you like will work for you really well. Otherwise, if you will just take the classes and will not put any side efforts, then your learning will get slow. Because what I can give you here is limited, but what you can get from anywhere is unlimited. Well, so these two things, and third thing, you need to like try to write Japanese daily. Even a little bit is also fine. Like little bit mean like 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Just a question before.
Mm-hmm.
So will I get this sheet that we are writing on right now,
Mm-hmm.
or shall I make it?
I will send you. I will send you. So try to write Japanese daily, even a little bit is also fine. 5 to 10 minutes. So at least 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 10 minutes. Try to write something in Japanese. Take anything from your daily life or future or past, present, whatever it is, but just try to write something, whatever it is. That will make your Japanese reading and writing strong. Like when you will write a kanji, and if you're like writing a watashi wa daily, then after 10 days automatically you will be memorizing watashi was kanji like perfectly. So there was just an example, but any kind of kanji, if you're writing a kanji daily, so that will make your kanji knowledge also strong basically. So do that. So all these efforts will make your reading skill more better than current one. So you have to listen Japanese, you have to write Japanese, you have to read Japanese. Third is try to mimic what you see or listen. So whatever you are listening or you are watching, try to mimic. Starting small lines and then the bigger one also fine. Like if you are watching something and the person is saying something, so try to mimic that, try to learn that thing. That will enhance your pronunciation. The more better you can pronunciate a word, the smoother your speaking will be, because most of the time we know the words, we know the meaning, but we don't know how to say it properly, or we say it very slow, or we do fumble a lot. So that is also a reason we are not able to speak Japanese. And even like if for example, if in a meeting, if you are fumbling again and again, once, twice, thrice, then automatically you will stop speaking, even though you know how to speak, maybe better than others, but you will not speak because of fumbling again and again. So to get rid of that fumbleness, basically you have to mimic what you see or what you watch or listen daily. After like this a mimicking thing, you have to do just 1 month, because if you are doing it enough for a month, after that you no longer needed to do this like mimicking thing, because the mimicking makes you better day by day. Like a sentence, like any sentence you can pick, like for an example, when I shoot a video or I do things, so I say like okay, so this line is like hello konnichiwa minasan chimme de gozaimasu, and konkai wa kono channel de business nihongo ni suyote o hanashi shite ikitai to omoimasu. So this kind of sentence, just take this sentence, o hanashi shite ikitai to omoimasu. make it slow and then try to mimic it. So when you make a single sentence that gives you so many sounds, like watashi wa chinmay de gozaimasu. So gozaimasu, it has like gozaimasu, then de, then chinmay, then watashi wa. So when you repeat a sentence or a paragraph 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, it enhances your speech or pronunciation. And when you are good at pronunciation, you speak fast or you speak smoothly. And when you speak smoothly, you have more confidence, or you are more confident as a person to speak Japanese. So now we covered writing, reading, watching, and listening, and speaking also. And after all these things, now come to the class. After all this, in the class, try to speak in real time. That's all. That's the main thing. Then in the class, try to speak in real time. Real time mean like we are talking right now. So this concludes automatically that all these efforts you have to put before the class, not after the class, daily. And after the class, what you need to do after the class, you just need to repeat the cycle with the class. Whatever you are studying in the class, or I am teaching you, or I am helping you with. After the class, just like half an hour, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, based upon your time, repeat it or revise it, a better way to put it, revise it or revise the class daily. So all these efforts will make you a better Japanese speaker as compared to others. So in the class, try to speak in real time. Well, till here, if you have any doubt, any question, please ask.
No, I don't know.
Okay. Now you will tell me currently if I talk about N5 level and N4 level, how do you see yourself? How do you see yourself? I mean, like how much I need to like prepare you with these N4 and N5 levels, or like please.
So inside level, I'll rate myself out of 10. If I rate myself out of 10, I'll give myself 9
Mm-hmm.
in N5.
Mm-hmm.
And in N4, I'll give myself 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
That also because I have revised it
Mm-hmm.
within 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So if I revise it, I'm good at N4 level.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
If you give me a grammar pattern,
Mm-hmm.
vocabulary, anything from N5 or N4,
Mm-hmm.
I am sure I'll be able to understand it, translate it.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be any problem. It's just that if I revise once again,
Mm-hmm.
in N4, so I'll give myself 9.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I
Mm-hmm.
have not appeared for the N4 jlpt.
Mm-hmm.
So because there were no exams and I directly went for N5. But I have revised N4 several times.
Okay, understood. One thing I want to tell you, whenever I ask you to translate a sentence or I give you something to translate or to speak in Japanese, one thing you need to do that you need to take that English sentence to your own language, and then you have to, I mean, there should be a step to follow initially. After a certain time, you don't need to follow any step, and then you can like directly translate or you can speak or interpret it. But initially, you have to do one thing: take the sentence from English to your own language, whatever it is, Hindi, English, Tamil, Marathi, whatever it is. Take it to that language, understand it, understand the meaning, what that sentence want to say. Because to say one thing, there could be, I mean, several ways basically. बहुत सारे ways are there to say one thing. So you have to choose the best way for yourself. And that best way for yourself, you need to translate to Japanese. This will make you to not to translate word by word. And that's the first mistake we do whenever we translate English to Japanese or Hindi to Japanese basically. English is a Western language, Japanese is Japanese is a Asian language, Hindi is also Asian language. So Hindi, Tamil, Marathi, or whatever language we have in Asia, are have some similarities. Thai, Vietnamese, Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, we have similarity. And Western language is English, so we don't have we do not have any kind of similarity. So English, say you have to take it in your own language, then do translation, then try translation. This will the first step will make your translation or interpretation a little bit more natural. So never try to do word by word translation. For a quick example, I just asked you that N5 level, N4 level, how do you see yourself? And when I'm saying how, like I said, how do you see yourself? And you replied me, okay, I rate myself. So I didn't use rate word, but you used rate word. Why? Because you understood this. When I'm saying how do you see, you know what I'm asking. You know that I'm asking about your potential, your rating out of 10. So that 10 and 8.5 and rate, all these things you have added by yourself. I didn't ask you that, correct? Exactly the same
If
thing you,
somebody who is
yeah.
very well versed with English will understand this in a different way.
Hmm.
How do you see yourself?
So see, yeah. So see my like मैं खुद को कैसा देखूँ तो that doesn't make sense. But an understanding way it makes sense. Okay, I have to rate myself. That is all. So exactly this is you have to do in your Japanese translation. ऐसा ही sentence को लेके you have to understand it, and then you have to translate it. In English I wrote how do you see yourself. In Japanese I wrote jibu no chikara wo dore gore dekimasu ka. Jibu no chikara means the power, potential in respect to or in terms of speaking in these two levels, not power in terms of lifting up something or driving something or hitting someone, not that power, because power has so many contexts, but we have to connect it with the current context, and the current context is N4 N5 level communication. Simple. So Japanese speaking needs a little bit of like understanding. सो जिबुनो चिकारो दोरे देकिमास का. अभी इसके साथ में इंग्लिश वर्ड बोलूँ या इंग्लिश ना बोलूँ, इन बोथ द केसेस यू नो, बिकॉज वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट कम्युनिकेशन. सिंपल. So why speaking Japanese is very much difficult as compared to speaking English? Because in Japanese language we don't speak like English, we speak like Hindi or Tamil, Telugu or Gujarati or any Indian language. Why? Because and mainly in Japanese we try to convey feelings, we try to convey the actual meaning of things and with the less words. I mean, there is a saying in Japanese like a good communication is like lesser you say, more you convey. So if you are using very less words and if you are conveying or communicating very like so much and accurately, that's like good communication way basically. So in Japanese we do this. You speak very less, but you convey a lot. And you speak what you want to convey, not what is written there. Jibu no chikaro dore gore dekimasu ka. Dore gore I mean up to what level, up to what extent. Dekimasu ka mean you can do it. With dekiru we always, not always, but most of the time we use gurai. So from this sentence I can explain a few things which you can note down in your own language. Dore gurai mean up to what extent. Up to what extent. Dekimasu ka is you already know, is like can you do it? Can you do it? Dore gurai, so up to what extent? So when you know up to what extent means dore gurai. So with your own understanding you can assume or you can understand that up to what. So wherever you want to say up to what extent you can climb, up to what extent you can eat, up to what extent you can fight, up to what extent you can run, every place where you want to use up to what extent casually, you can use dore gurai. And the combination of the dekiru or dekimasu will come with it because you are asking a question, and dekimasu like can you do. So up to what extent you can do it. So these two, if you combine these two, if you put a yajirushi, yajirushi mean arrow. In Japanese yajirushi mean arrow. So if we mix both of them, so it will sound like up to what extent you can, and then you can put here whatever you want to put. You can eat, you can run, you can sing, you can fight, whatever. So now forget all the Japanese things or Japanese grammar, everything. Now just remember one thing, that you have a tool, you have a formula or a phrase or a grammar with that is dore go rai dekimasu ka. So up to what extent you can do something. So if you know these two things, you can add your own words, your own context, and you can make a new sentence. So, and in so many situations you can use it, like jibun ga suki na jibun ga suki na tabemono, the food you like a lot, up to what extent you can eat it. So if you make a sentence with it, which will give you a new grammar, sentence will be how much or up to what extent, both are the same thing of course. Up to what extent, how much or up to what extent you can eat the food you like the most. This sentence sounds like very difficult in Japanese, but it's very much easy if you know these two things. If you know these two things, then half of the sentence is done already, correct? Because the main part, how much or to what extent, because you can eat food, तो हम broken Japanese से भी बोल देंगे, like sukina food हो tabemas का, ऐसा चलेगा. But if you don't know this part, then we are lost. So how much or up to what extent you can eat the food you like the most. So there is very easy and 5 concept. Noun plus ga, noun plus ga plus suki. Suki mean you like a noun. Like a noun. That noun could be like sweets. Sweet ka suki des. I like sweet or sweets, basically. Sweets ka suki des. I like sweet. So, and we want to say the food you like the most. Like the most, daisuki. Daisuki. Basically, like the most or love. Both are same thing. So the food you like the most mean, okay, when you are talking to a other person and you're not talking about yourself and you are putting it as a question, because you don't ask question to yourself. मतलब हम ऐसा नहीं पूछते हैं, समझ करते हाँ क्या मैं स्वीट खाता हूँ क्या, नहीं पूछते. हम पूछते हैं क्या आप स्वीट खाते हैं क्या, करेक्ट. तो क्योंकि हम ऐसा पूछते हैं, तो जापानीज़ में वी डोंट हैव टू पुट अ प्रोनाउन कि ये मैं अपने बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ या मैं तुम्हारे बारे में बात करूँ. वी डोंट हैव टू पुट अ प्रोनाउन until unless we are not forcefully putting it. So it's by default by default it will go with the context. Mean 自分が大好きな sweets. So yeah, okay, you can say okashi, but in Japanese okashi, because in India sweets means sweets like barfi, gulab jamun, rasgulla. But in Japan okashi means candy, usually candy. And sweets, they say sweets, katakana, sweets. So sweets mean if it's Japanese sweets, which is like a barfi, so that is sweets, not okashi. Okashi mean a lollipop or toffee or snacks, basically. Okashi means snacks. So jibun ga daisuki na sweets. So here I am saying jibun na daisuki. So jibun mean होता है मैं, myself. So ये बहुत easy है यहाँ पे इसको misunderstand करना, अगर आपको नहीं पता है concept. And if you are interpreting something, if you are translating something, it's very easy to do mistake. Jibun ga daisuki na sweets. So you can understand कि other person is talking about himself. No, he is talking about you, because and में question mark है. या का नहीं लगाएंगे तो दो केसेस हो सकते हैं. पहला केस doesn't make any sense. Second case, person is talking about himself or herself, and that will depend on the context. Without context we can't say anything. But if there is a ka, again there are two cases. Most probably he is talking about you, and if he is not talking about you, then it will go with the context. Then you have to understand with the context. अगर वो person already conversation चल रही है उस पर्सन के ही पर्सपेक्टिव से, पर्सन के ही अराउंड, तो इट मे बी फॉर हिम, बट अगेन इट विल डिपेंड ऑन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट. बट अगर सब कुछ प्लेन है, नॉर्मल है, तो इट्स फॉर यू. सो जिबोंगा दाइसुकी ना स्विट्सु ओ दोरेगुराई थाबेरारेमासु का. And taberaremasu ka is potential form. Taberareru, can eat. Same thing can you say taberu koto ga dekimasu ka, but here we will say taberaremasu ka. So jibun ga daisuki na suisu o dore gurai taberaremasu ka. Here you can say if like forcefully, if you want to put something. Next you can say like सुजुकी-सान वा जिबुन गा दाइसुकी ना सुइशो दोरोगे ताबेरारेमासु का. सो अभी क्योंकि हमने बोला सुजुकी-सान वा, तो अभी तो ऑफ कोर्स एक्सप्लिसिटली फोर्सफुली सामने वाले के लिए ही हो गया है. दिस वे ऑफ टॉकिंग वी यूज व्हेन वी स्पीक वेरी फॉर्मल, व्हेन वी आर इन इंटरव्यू, ऑन अ मीटिंग, कॉन्फ्रेंस, वहाँ पे बिकॉज इज अ जापानीज वे ऑफ टॉकिंग. When you take other person's name, it attracts them towards your whatever you are saying. It is to grab attention. It is to make other person feel important or good. Like you, like there are two ways when you say like hi. Second you say like hi Chinmay. So hi and hi Chinmay both are different feelings, different level of respect, different level of like the potential of of attracting other person towards you. It makes them feeling more important. So Suzuki-san wa jibun ga daisuki na suiso dore gurai taberaremasu ka. I'm not saying this is the bestest sentence, the most natural, most like super sentence to say this thing, but this is a natural Japanese without any grammatical mistake, which will convey your meaning perfectly to the other person. Suzuki-san wa jibun ga daisuki na suiso dore gurai taberaremasu ka. You can make it a little bit more formal by adding dore hodo taberaremasu ka, because hodo and gurai are almost same. Hodo is saying like extent, and gurai is also extent. Gurai is a little bit less formal, hodo is more formal. That's the main difference. Okay, till here if you have any doubt, please ask. We can say taberu koto ga dore gurai taberu koto ga dekimasu ka. We can say that will like sentence will become longer and become more polite, though that is not like kind of unnecessary. Yeah, so you can say it this way. Suzuki-san wa jibun ga daisuki na suiso dore gurai taberaremasu ka.
So if you want to say how many meters can you swim?
So dore gurai oyogu. Oyogu means to swim. Oyogemasu ka. Dore gurai oyogemasu ka. Like up to what extent or how much you can swim. That will automatically considered into the meter or whatever the measurement you want to. So this sentence is fine for you. So it's like how much of your favorite sweets can you eat, or like if you do the translation with the translator, so that will be word by word translation most of the time. So yeah, can I like these two? I? What extent? How much of? Okay. So we talked about the Dore Gorai and this now Gasuki wala grammar. One thing we need to know when we want to speak Japanese, there is a thing called verb conjugations. Verb conjugations. Okay, like do you know what is verb conjugations? It basically mean conjugating a verb or mean modifying a verb based upon the tense. Like eat, ate, eaten.
Sabe, masabi,
Hmm. Eaten, right? In Japanese, taberu, tabetao, tabemashou, tabete, tabeteimasu, tabeteimasen, or tabeteinai, whatever it is, etc. This verb conjugation is extremely important, or very much important, because verb conjugation and the particles together makes a grammar, and the grammar makes your sentence. So the two things you should be like very like good at, the verb conjugation, like thabe arimasu. So quickly you should be able to make conjugations of verb. Like the verb we were talking in the last sentence was oyogu. Oyogu means to swim. Oyoge, oyoge must mean can swim. Like we say kaku, kaku mean to write. We say kakeru, you can write. Kakeru. Can write. Or can swim. So as a quickly you should be able to do. Hashiru. Hashiru. Okay. Hashiru is for conjugating you need to know the groups of the verb. Hashiru is a group second or group one. What do you think?
one.
It's second. Hashiru is a godan verb. Godan means the
Yeah. Hashiri is one.
one. Godan. Godan means the 5 steps conjugation, which is the group 1 verbs. So we say hashirimasu. Okay. We say hashirimasu. We don't say hashimasu. If we say hashimasu, is a group 1. Sorry, group 2. So the potential verb is hashireru. It's hashiru, hashireru. So what we can say.
I'm trying to recall the
Mm-hmm.
for potential.
Mm-hmm.
First, convert it to A.
Mm-hmm.
To A. The second was to Grare.
Mm-hmm.
I forget this rule. I just
Mm.
carry that.
You can take this rule like change the u sound to a and attach ru. Let's say hashiru. Hashiru become re and attach ru. So where hashireru, correct? Kaku. Ku will become k plus ru. Kakeru. Okay. For the group 2 verb, what do you need to do? You need to do like okay, you do mass. Okay. I teach verb conjugation from the dictionary form. Dictionary form mean u ending verb, the plain form, not from the mass form. because if you don't know the mass form, then what you will do. That's why. So for the group 2, like thaberu, thaberareru, so you just need to drop the ru and attach rareru. Drop the ru and attach rareru. Drop the ru and attach rareru. Example. Thaberareru. Can it? Miru. Mirareru. Can see. Kimeru. Kimerareru. Can decide. Okay. For the group third, there are only two verbs, suru guru. So suru become tekiru and kuru become koreru. Can come, can do. Okay. This is till here. If you have any doubt, please ask.
I just was trying to record.
Maybe you there is a possibility that you studied in a different way, and I am telling you in a different way, because I am telling you from the dictionary verbs, from the root plain form, which is the way like I teach. Yeah, so if you know these three small rules, you can quickly make this thaberareru form of any verb. Fine. Okay. When you speak Japanese daily, few things you need to know, that a sentence which is very we say it very often, which is a sentence using passive punctuations. Okay, like when something has done by,
Give an example.
yeah, when something has done by somebody to you, when something has done to you.
I have been given this assignment by my master.
Yeah, or like say like I have been, like for an example, I have been told this by him, or told by, to finish before today's evening, etc. Fine. This is very often, very commonly we use. So all this we do using passive verbs or passive sentences. What is passive? A sentence where do not where yeah we are not the subject of the sense, mean subject is somebody else and we are the receiver of the action, mean the action has been done to us. Note being said that we use this kind of verb in passive conjugation only to show anger or regret on something. That is not the case. Okay, when we study jlpt now in like out there with any institution or any like other tutor, 99% of the time people like t- tell me that somebody has told them that passive we use only to show regret or anger, but that's not the case. There are so many sentences in the situation where we use passive as positive things also, because when we do business in Japanese we use passive as a sonkeigo phrase or sonkeigo sentence. So, and sonkeigo mean to give respect to the other person. So passive is not something we use just to show anger and the regret. So that's a like false statement. We can use to do such thing also, not only such thing. I mean totally, and we don't even need to worry about anger or regret, because it just depends on the context. If the context is showing anger and the regret, it will automatically drive that. If the context is sweet and calm and sweet, there is no anger and regret, but still we can use passive. Like there are two cases. You can calmly and being composed, you can ask, who ate my pineapple? And you can shout loudly and you can show anger, and you can ask, who ate my pineapple? In both the cases you are using passive. In the second case you are showing anger. First case you just want to know who ate it. That's all. Simple. So what is the passive sentence? When you are not the sentence, do is somebody else. And here, and your focus on what happened, not on who did it. Because you want listeners' attention on what happened, not on who did it. Fine. This is important. Till here, end out in this definition. In this definition, मीन आप जिसको वो बात बता रहे हो पैसिव को यूज़ करके, तो आपको उसका अटेंशन आपके साथ क्या हुआ उस पर चाहिए, ना कि किसने किया. बिकॉज यू लाइक वांट मोर अटेंशन कि लुक दिस हैज़ बीन डन टू मी. दैट्स व्हाई यू आर यूजिंग पैसिव. सो आप इवेंट को ज़्यादा एम्फेसाइज करते हैं हम, ना कि इवेंट जिसने किया उसको बेसिकली. सो एक्शन इज बीइंग मोर एम्फेसाइज्ड रादर देन हु हैज़ परफॉर्म द एक्शन. Is being more emphasized rather than who did it. For an example, this example we can take. I have been told by him. So we can say, koreo kari ni iwaremashita. You to say something, your master is being said something, mean like potential. Iware mashita. Yeah, iwareru. That is tho iwareru grammar. It is said that it is being said in Japan. It is like tho iwareru. Like because tho we used to mark something, and that something is being said in Japan. So nihon de wa kono koto o la to iwaremasu, or to iwaretemasu, like that. There is something else we'll talk about later. So iwareru is passive. Iwareru is passive. Taberu, to eat, and taberareru, being eaten by somebody else, of course.
But we will be able to understand from the context that
Yeah.
Tabirari is potential.
Yeah, true. That's true. Because the group seconds verb, no, having potential and the passive same. So one thing we can do, like we can understand by the context, and the second thing we can do, we can remove this ra from the potential form, and we can say thabereru, which is correct in casual speech or the colloquial speech. So thabereru is fine. So thaberareru is passive. Thabereru is can eat. But most of the time we say thaberareru for the potential, thaberareru for the passive, and totally depends on the context. The one very easy thing, when we use thaberareru as potential, there will be no ni particle before it. Very easy thing to understand. When we use thaberareru as potential verb, there will be no new particle before it. Simple. So अगर verb से पहले नी पार्टिकल नहीं है तो it's potential है तो it's passive. Simple. Like 오래노 케이크 다리니 타베라리다 타베라리다 다리니 타베라노 오래 mean mine boku no watashi no basically. So boku no keiki darin taberaretayo. This O could be potential here because the colloquial speech, casual speech. So original cake darin taberareta. Who ate my cake? Simple. Who ate my cake? Or by whom my cake is being eaten. But the original sentence or the natural translation is who ate my cake. But the way we put it in passive. So अगर अभी मैं इसका word to word translation करूँ तो it will go like by whom my cake is being eaten. ऐसा होगा. But the natural will be who ate my cake. So if you are translating something as an interpreter, so you have to say who ate my cake. Simple. Like you can say like original cake, like you can like show a like shock wala part, like like my cake is like there is no more of my cake, or like somebody ate it. So you can say original cake tabirareta, like mo tabirareta no
Already.
like my cake. You can say like my cake take it English. You ate it, or somebody else ate it already.
You can also say my cake it's already like मतलब वो खत्म भी हो चुका है.
But by whom, that is you want to, if you want to mention that, you say audio cake mo thabe. Like in this case you are not sure, like it's like they are talking about your cake, so you just want to confirm, like audio cake, my cake mo thabe no, you ate it because
Okay, but more tabirareta no. If we don't say you or somebody, then also I think it's okay.
इस सेंटेंस में वही हो रहा है. इस सेंटेंस में यू आर सेइंग टू थिंग्स विद वन सेंटेंस. अगर आप सामने वाले से बात कर रहे हो तो आप मुँह थप रहे हो तो इसका मतलब आप उसको भी इंक्लूड कर रहे हो कि it's you or it's somebody else. So if it's he or she will admit. Otherwise, if it's not he or she, then he or she will say no, not by me but by somebody else. So context समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है. बट यहाँ पे आप इस वन सेंटेंस से, एक सेंटेंस से यू आर सेइंग बोथ द थिंग. यू आर आस्किंग लाइक तुमने खाया या किसी और ने खाया, दोनों चीज़ें आपने एक सेंटेंस से कन्वे कर दी. यहाँ आपको अलग से मेंशन करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. That's the good thing about Japanese. यहाँ पे हमको who और अनाता और he और she लगाने की ज़रूरत नहीं. It will automatically cover all the possible cases. And it's a difficult thing of language. Okay, किधर तक रहता हूँ. You can say like सोनू मेरू खाकेरारेरू खाकेरारेरू खाकेरारिता तम्मो खाकेरारेता नो खाकेरारेता नो दाढ़ी जिसका. Now you are not saying a sequential Japanese. Here you are saying sonomero, like that meal. Mokha kar do. It's being written already. That is ka who is that? And who wrote that email? So इसका जो compound translation होगा, that is who wrote that email. But just saying like sonomero. If you sequentially you can say like sonomero o dare ni kakeraremashita ka. Who wrote that email? Sonomeru wa dare ni, or you can say if you don't want to say sonomeru, oh,
was written by
yeah, by written by whom? So you can ask both the ways. Sonomeru wa dare ni kakeraremashita ka. Now again there might be two cases. एक ईमेल लिखा जा चुका है, so you want to know who wrote it. एक ईमेल लिखना बाकी है, so you are saying like किसी ने लिखा क्या? हाँ, like किसी ने लिखा क्या? I mean you are expecting कि किसी ने लिख दिया होगा. So सोनमेर वा मादा दाढ़े निमो इसको मादा दाढ़े निमो खाकेरारेरू दाढ़े निमो खाकेरारेरू खाकेरारेते इनाई नो. दाढ़े निमो खाकेरारेते इनाई नो. खाकेरारेते इनाई नो मीन like you are expecting कि लिख दिया हो किसी ने, but ऐसा हुआ नहीं है. so you are like मादा मीन still अभी तक किसने नहीं लिखा है क्या? I mean अभी तक किसी के द्वारा नहीं लिखा गया है क्या? This is what you want to know. When we want to put a question mark, I think we are doing a mistake. कहीं तो ऐसा सोनू में रूमो खाकारिरू हाँ खाकारिरू is the verb, so not khake is khakariru. Yeah, you using no. No is like when you want to put a question. इससे सेम एज का की तरह होता है, बट का इज लिटिल बिट अगर देश मास फॉर्म के साथ में आ रहा है तो का वाला पार्ट इज मोर पोलाइट. अगर विदाउट मास फॉर्म के साथ में आ रहा है तो का वाला इज लेस फॉर्मल देन दिस, एंड दिस इज लिटिल बिट फॉर्मल देन का, बट स्टिल कैजुअल. सो खाकारिता खाकारिरू. हाँ, सो का वाला थोड़ा ज़्यादा हार्श होता है अगर वो मास्क फॉर्म के साथ नहीं है तो. देश मास्क के साथ नहीं है तो लाइक देश का इज ओके, जस्ट का लाइक थाविता का दाइजोबु का. सो दाइजोबु का इज मोर हार्श, और द कैजुअल वे ऑफ सेइंग दाइजोबु देश का इज वेरी मच फॉर्मल. 書かれる書かれていないの、書かれる書かれてない。そのメールはまだ誰にも書かれてないの。So here you are expecting कि किसने तो लिखा होगा, तो like अभी तक किसने नहीं लिखा है क्या ऐसा? Okay, till here is fine. Any doubt? Okay, fine. Then I'm sending the sheet, and then yeah. If I don't have any doubt. Okay. See you in the next class.